Hello guys, welcome to my channel Informant. The construction work of Burj Khalifa was going on. The whole structure was standing as it was. Now it was time to install window panels on it. But then what happened, which no one could have guessed, was the scorching heat of Dubai, and the temperature inside the Burj Khalifa rose to 100 degrees Celsius during the day due to the installation of the window panels that were to be installed on the world's tallest building. The grade reached such a high temperature that it was not possible for a human being to enter the building under any circumstances. This problem was the biggest problem faced during the construction of Burj Khalifa, which put the entire construction team in trouble. The interior design work of Burj Khalifa had to be stopped due to the construction work was on hold for 18 months. But then something happened that woke up the drowning dream of the management and engineers. $1.5 billion, i.e. 114 billion rupees was spent on this building, which is 216 feet high. You will be able to know all the difficult stages that the tax and workers went through to complete, what difficulties they faced, and how these difficulties were solved. The first challenge was the construction time. The engineers were given only 6 years to complete this feat. Of those 6 years, only 3 years were required to design the building. If 3 years were spent on the design, it was not possible to build the physical structure of the building in the remaining 3 years. So the engineers decided to start the construction of the Burj Khalifa without a design. That is why the excavation work started in February 2004. Challenge number 2. When the time came to lay the foundation of the Burj Khalifa, another problem arose. Generally, the foundation of tall buildings is placed on the large rocks in the ground, but where the Burj Khalifa was to be built with either sandy stones or small weak stones under it, then the question was raised whether the tallest building in the world would be built on the foundation of these weak stones. To tackle this challenge, a basic principle of science was used, and that was fraction. Not 1 or 2, but the entire 109 steel 22 had to be evenly distributed. Challenge number 3 for the design of the Burj Khalifa. In designing the structure of the tallest building in the world, he also had his hands and feet swollen. His challenge was to design a structure that could bear the weight of millions of tons of concrete and steel, with floors illuminated by natural light. And that building is also 160 floors. The solution of this unique problem was taken out day and night by this form, and that was the bit trace structure which was introduced in the world for the first time in Burj Khalifa. Challenge number 4. On the other hand, the construction team of later, a floor was built, but as they went a little higher, they faced another difficulty, and that was the concrete section system. That is, it was to convey the concrete to the upper floors through these pipes installed in the thick pie from the bottom of the Khalifa to the top. The total weight is equal to the weight of 100,000 elephants, so 3 of the most powerful pumps in the world were ordered to pump this much concrete, which did the job. Khalifa had 140 floors, and welding had broken the record of being the tallest building in the world on the 140th floor, but the greens they had to get the material up to the top, only up to the 120th floor. It was not only the cranes that were able to deliver the cranes, the crane operators who handled the cranes, to work at higher heights, so HR Farm hired different crane operators from around the world and trained them. These green operators who were brought to Dubai spoke different languages, but they all had one thing in common, i.e., they were not afraid of heights. At a height of 700 meters, this crane operator spent 12 hours a day on duty, which is about, it was known that he slept in the cabin of the crane. Challenge number 6 was only 2 years before the launch of Burj Khalifa. A total of 24,000 glass panels were to be installed on Khalifa. When it was time to install the glass panels, the temperature inside the building reached 100 degrees Celsius due to the scorching heat and altitude of Dubai. Cooling used 10 times more electricity. It took 18 months to find a solution to this problem, but finally the famous engineer Chun Giraffe said that he had a solution to this problem, but that solution would be very expensive. John's offer was accepted. It was done because there was no other option. John made a special type of glass that would reflect back the rays coming from the sunlight, but the price of this glass panel was $2,000 and 24,000 such. The panels were to be made. The total amount was 3 billion, 60 crores, for which a whole factory was built in which only these glass panels were manufactured. And these aluminum glass panels were ready in just 4 months. Challenge number 7. Construction in the last year of Burj Khalifa launch. It was completely ready. All the work of gas, water, and electricity had been done, but still something was incomplete. The weight was 3.5 tons. There was no crane in the world that could lift such heavy steel and keep it above the clouds to the top of the Burj Khalifa. But it was necessary to do this at any cost, because now the Burj Khalifa, as the launch was concerned, engineers finally decided to build the 136-meter-long rod inside the Burj Khalifa, so the rod was lifted up in small sections and reassembled at the top of the Burj Khalifa. Now, the Burj Khalifa was completely complete, but due to years of dust and construction waste, the entire Burj Khalifa was full of mud. Rather, the workers were hung from the ropes, and the total 24,000 window panels of the Burj Khalifa were polished from the outside. This window cleaning work is still done with the help of workers. A few facts about the construction of Burj Khalifa. A total of 12,000 workers worked at the same time. The world's tallest restaurant is located in the Burj Khalifa. The elevators in the Burj Khalifa are the fastest elevators in the world. The wind can be as strong as a Category 1 hurricane. The top of the Burj Khalifa can be seen from 100 kilometers away. The sunset can be seen twice a day.